Hey, what's up? This is Jason Lee Howden, writer and director of Deathgasm. You're listening to Without Your Head.
Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil, and I'm joined by the executive producer, Jian Magen, and the former heavyweight champion, the legend, the icon, the Sheik. How are you guys doing?
All right. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having us on the show.
Yeah, so the Sheik, it's currently on Netflix, and the DVD's coming out in early March, and I got a chance to see it. It's amazing. And like, how did the whole idea come about? Who decided to make the documentary?
So, myself and my twin brother, we grew up idolizing this man, the Iron Sheik. Our father was best friends with him in Iran, and so we were exposed to the wrestling business from a very young age, and got to hang out with these larger than life figures since we were like 3 years old. And when we got into our mid 20s, the whole concept of like shoot DVDs and
Hmm.
had really taken off, and we started to talk about like how cool would it be to make a documentary on the Iron Sheik, knowing nothing about making documentaries. I'd like to add.
Uh-huh.
We set out on a mission to Atlanta, Georgia, to film the Sheik, who we had kept in touch with over the years, and from that moment 9 years ago up until last year, when it got finished, we were documentary filmmakers in making.
So, what was your goal initially to get across? Like, just the whole story of the Iron Sheik, from Iran to America, or did you have like a specific goal?
So there's a bunch of stories that I knew that I don't think many of the people knew, and being a Persian, we always felt that if we could tell the story from the Iranian side and then tell the story from the wrestling fan side, that there was like this this additional opportunity to like make something happen. And many people just knew the Iron Sheik as this really brash, loud, anti-American character, but we knew him as Uncle Khosrow, and we knew him as the man that came over and made us laugh, and was one of the nicest people ever. But furthermore, we knew the stories of him being the Shah of Iran's bodyguard, and being an AAU champion and on the Olympic wrestling team, and an Olympic wrestling coach. And we knew about the infamous stories about how his best friend Gholam Reza Takhti, the Olympic wrestling champion of Iran, mysteriously died. And
Hmm.
so that all of that, and on top of the fact that he's the man who launched Hulkamania, he's the man who broke down the walls of kayfabe when him and Duggan got booked on the highway
Uh-huh.
for their little rendezvous with the law. All those things kind of were our main driving force. Now, those things didn't really come to the forefront when we first started filming, because as wired on some heavy duty drugs.
Hmm.
And so kind of this thing took a life of its own, right? And as you see in the film, he's all off that shit now, and he's the man.
Yeah, it's nice that it ends up with an uplifting story at the end.
Yeah, yeah,
And
we're very proud of what the end story has become, because we had the opportunity for the end story to be at any point that we stopped filming. That would have been the end story. And if
right.
we had stopped filming when we first started filming,
Hmm.
this thing would have been one of those really sad, you know, you know, Scott Hall exposés or whatever,
Hmm. Hmm. Now, as a lifetime wrestling fan, I'd always heard about being the bodyguard of the Shah and all these things, but it's great to actually see more in depth of it. It was a lot of stuff that I didn't know about, and I didn't know anything about I forget how he pronounce his name, Takti, and that stuff was fascinating. And to realize that was kind of the impetus for the Sheik to leave Iran.
Oh my goodness! And then for him to literally leave leave Iran and head to a new country, not know any English, not know his way around town, only knowing how to wrestle. Like, this is like a common. This is like he's a modern day Balky.
Uh-huh. So, what interested you, the legend here, Mr. Iron Sheik? What interested you in doing the documentary?
Oh, I was very happy because that was the true story about myself and Ghulam Reza Takhti and Iran and come to America, and I was first Iranian come number one company in the world, WWE champion, and then AU champion. So that was true story about me, and I think that the Magen boys and Jian Magen did an excellent job. There was true story about me. I was very, very happy about my documentary.
Yeah, excellent. Now, did your wife ever get used to the mustache? I know she said when you first shaved the head and grew out the mustache, she was not a fan.
Well, before I was an amateur wrestler and no mustache, but after I come professional, I changed my style a little bit to be match my gimmick. I mean, my wrestling professional, and I did it with mustache, with whatever,
Yeah.
and but I was very happy about myself and my company, number one company in the world, and Mr. McLean, and whatever I did, I was very happy, and I'm glad that people out there, they know about me and make a true documentary about me.
Yeah. That must be a good feeling for you to know that so many people like Jake the Snake, The Rock, Jim Ross, Mick Foley, all wanted to be part of this and are talking, favorably, talking good about you on this documentary.
Oh, they're true, my friend. We grew up together, and then they know about Iron Sheik, and they did an excellent job, and I'm very happy, and I have a lot of respect from all of them to come to my documentary, talk about Iron Sheik, because it was a true, they're talking about me, and they are all good, all American friends, wrestler I had, and then they talk about me. There was true story, and I have a lot of respect for my company, Mr. McMahon, number one company in the world, and his son and his family. Everybody, they are great, and like I said, from Minnesota, I respect my another. I started over there, Mr. Gania and his son, Greg Gania, and all people. I grew up with them. I have a lot of respect for them because I was a talented, but if I didn't have it, then I cannot make it to the Big Apple and be the WWE champion, and then also to the Magen boys and Jian Magen and his father and mother. They know me, and they did a great job for me, and I'm very happy, and I have a lot of respect for all of them.
Yeah. Now, how was it ever dangerous for you when you were, a big time heel, when you were the villain, and wrestling fans, were really passionate about the wrestling at the time, like in the late '70s and the early '80s? Did you ever run into any fans that really believing that you were this terrible villain?
Well, everywhere I go, everywhere I had more heat than any other wrestler because I was Iranian and I speak Farsi, and my my image or my gimmick was true because I was a real Iranian, and then people that time for the hostage situation, they didn't like me, and a lot of threat for me, but thanks to God, I'm here still, and I talk to you, and I just want to say thanks to all my wrestling fans and movie fans, and thanks to you. So I'm talking to you guys. A lot of damage in my body and my mind because for them, it's not easy sport. It's tough sport. A lot of people think wrestling is easy, but it's not. A lot of damage in them mentally, physically. But thanks to God, still I'm around, and thanks to talk to you, sir.
Yeah, excellent. It's great to talk to you. Now, Gian, now you knew Iron Sheik, and it's in the documentary, and you mentioned since you were young. But what were some of the stuff that you actually discovered about him that you didn't know about him while you were filming the documentary?
Um, okay, that's a good question. Some of the things that kind of stick out in my mind is that she learned how to speak English and do read and write. When he moved to America, he learned that from Sesame Street,
Oh, really?
which I had never, which I did not know, which was totally, I think totally cool, considering, again, a guy who moves to this country doesn't know, doesn't know anything about it, and then there's like, Sheik. Who were some of the characters that taught you how to be more American? How did you learn English? Which characters taught you the best?
I'm sorry, I didn't get it. Say it again.
From Sesame Street, which characters did got over with you?
I know what you mean. Oscar the Garage and Oni, and I used to watch Sesame Street and Bird, and then I love that Sesame Street. That time was very good for me. I watched Cookie Monster, all of them, and then I like all of them. Was great for me too. I can.
Sheik, who's the bigger jabroni, Ernie or Bert?
I think both of them good, but I think biggest jabroni was Oscar the Garage. Maybe I don't know. It's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Man, I gotta just tell you, like, thank you for having us on your show. First and foremost, I'm just a fan like you, and I'm so blessed that I was given this opportunity. There's a lot of shadiness in the world, but this is as pure and true of a story as it gets, and I was lucky, and I'm blessed that this guy, was in my life and granted us an opportunity to tell his story, and I'm lucky that along the way, other people stepped up and said, like The Rock and Jim Ross and Jake the Snake, and said, I think I can help you, and now here we are. It's a pretty remarkable, little story for us.
Yeah, definitely. And now, how much footage do you have of the Sheik? Since you're making this for 9 years.
Oh my goodness, man! There is unlimited amounts of hard. How about this? We can make a second DVD. We can make a second movie with what we have. We can make a ultimate Iron Sheik collector's edition, which we'll see how the first one goes.
Yeah, definitely. Did the Iron Sheik ever get sick of you following him around with the camera?
Sheik, you want to answer that question? Did you ever get mad or sick of me and Paige for being calling you and always bothering you?
Most of the time, not really. Most of the time, I was happy. Once, really, yes. Not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a couple times he made me humble.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
He's got to keep you in line. Now, Iron Sheik, do you consider The Rock using the jabroni word? Do you consider that an honor? Because he even admitted on the DVD, on the documentary, that he learned it from you.
Well, I have a lot of respect for The Rock and his father and mother, all his background, and he's a real honest man. To tell about Iron Sheik was the first I tell the people jabroni. He took that jabroni from me, but he said it true in the national TV or in the truth in my documentary, and he's a good man, and I have a lot of respect for him.
Mm-hmm. Do you still ever use the clubs?
Oh, still I use not now, but the old days. Yes, and nobody break my record, but now I'm just a lot of damage from my mind, my knee, ankle, back, everything, and I'm just now doing not much. I cannot do nothing now, but my young days, nobody break my record.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever tried them out, Gian?
Yeah, I actually did, and I can barely get 1.5 out. It's a really, weird way to exercise, and but you have to be super strong. And for those who know, the Sheik was the real. If MMA was around back then, he would have been the champion, man. Like, the guy is built like an ox, and still his upper body's good. He needs a bit of a tune-up on his lower body, but you know what? Never say never. Like, we're pushing to get his knee and his ankle done in the next few months. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the Iron Sheik was just nominated to go into the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, which is probably the biggest honor you could probably get for someone in the industry. And we're so lucky. He's so lucky. He paid for his dues, but he's very, very grateful.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of paying dues, it was interesting to see that once he came to the AWA, even with all these accolades, from amateur wrestling, that he was driving the ring truck and setting up rings for a full year. So Iron Sheik really paid his dues when he was in the AWA.
Exactly, because I was so much follow wrestling, and God bless my coach, Mr. Alan Rice, and another my coach, Mr. Burgania, and both of them great to me. They was the best friend I had in Minnesota, but I loved my sport so much. I didn't mind. I drive the truck from Minneapolis to Winnipeg, Canada, and all over to Chicago, and then Norfolk, South Dakota, North Dakota, all over, because I want to be someday just like Bruno Sammartino, like big name in the wrestling sport. And that time I loved wrestling so much, and thanks to God, so I made it to be number one company in the world, WWE champion, and thanks to Mr. McMahon and his family, and all great background from 5 generations, and still I have a lot of respect for his son. He come talk last watch he talk about her sister and her father, and it was interesting. I watched it, but it still is, to me, is the number one company in the world. They go up and down sometimes, but it still is the best. So, nice talk to you, sir. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. It was great to talk to both of you. And we talked about Iron Sheik, filming him. But what was his family? Were they open to you filming with his wife and his kids?
Yeah, they're such lovely people, and they're like my family. I would consider them our family, and we, they know the story because they lived with it, and so they knew that it was something that had to happen as well. And I think in the end, the right story was told, and everyone's thrilled, everyone's happy. Sheik's the man.
Yeah, and Iron Sheik, going to say, by the end of the documentary, you're an ultimate babyface, big time babyface, and everyone loves the Iron Sheik.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. And again, I love all of my documentary fans and wrestling fans, and I have a lot of respect for them. God bless all of them.
Yeah. As one last question for the Sheik, was the 1973 camp with Vern Gagne in the AWA when you're training to be a pro wrestler. You listed a bunch of people that were there, and 2 of them went on to become, world heavyweight champions, yourself and Ric Flair. What were your thoughts of Ric Flair at the time, and did you think he would go on to become a world champion?
Well, Ric Flair was a big man that time, but he was like myself, and he loved the wrestling, and he worked very hard, and he paid for his due also. And he did a great job since that time to become 16, 15 times champion, and he was another EU champion for a freestyle Greco-Roman, but for professional, he come one of the best from that camp he was competitor, was a Ric Flair, and he did an excellent job. And still he is and with the number one company in the world with his daughter, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah. Jian, thank you guys for both coming on. And how can people follow what's going on with the DVD and your projects?
You can obviously check out the Iron Sheik on Twitter, which is _Iron Sheik. Still every day he's chiming in on whatever the current affairs are in the world and giving his opinion on a whole slew of subjects. You can follow us on Twitter at Magen Boys, MAGENBOYS, as we will be announcing our second documentary on another wrestling legend, which is going to be very exciting. Just you stay in touch. You let us know how we can keep in touch with you, man.
All right, well, it's withoutyourhead.com, and on Twitter, it's at withoutyourhead. It's very easy to remember, and the email is withoutyourhead@gmail.com. So,
and we'll see all the Sheik's wrestling fans in New York City at the big event on March 5th.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm in Massachusetts, so it's not too far from me.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you both for coming on. It's been great, and I really did enjoy the documentary.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
That was great. That was awesome. Yeah, Sheik, you're the man.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is Sue Vicious, and you're listening to WithoutYourHead.com.